Hello, everyone. It is TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile. Billy's here, and T-Mobile wants to remind you guys to visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to learn more how you can get value and coverage through T-Mobile. And you actually just did this man bun right before we started.
Yeah, it's not if it's soccer-y enough for you, but
It's not soccer enough. It needs to go a little higher for soccer.
Oh, it's too
right
low?
Right now, it looks very much like you have short hair. Like if you look directly on there, like it looks like old school Billy Liucci. There we go, just up there.
better.
I like that.
Okay.
A little Gareth Bale. Do you know who that is?
Is he related to Christian Bale?
No. Christian Bale, one of the best Batmans, if not the best Batman of all time. All right,
It definitely wasn't Michael Keaton,
Michael Keaton's not the best, no.
and it damn sure wasn't Affleck.
Or Val Kilmer. Terrible.
God, that's some terrible Batman.
George Clooney was horrendous.
The bar's set pretty low, isn't it?
Yeah, but
More of a Catwoman guy.
yeah, Halle Berry or
Who's
Michelle
the other one?
Pfeiffer.
Oh, Pfeiffer.
Zoe
Both
Kravitz.
Both of them. Not Zoe Kravitz.
She's going to be great.
Halle Berry and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, big fan. I'm a big fan of all three. All right, so Liucci was obviously here in studio. We talked about opening weekend here for the A&M baseball team. They go at it again tonight against Lemoore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get out there and enjoy that. Try to double dip tonight. Get out to Bluebell and Reed.
Yeah, that's right. Basketball's going on. We had Logan Lee here. Bulldogs in town for that one. Pat Henry, the legendary track and field coach, came by studio. We had a great chat with him. And the latest with football and Evan Stewart making some noise over there across the street. That's on TexAgs Rewind.
I go watch baseball. I know what subpar defense looks like. I know what good defense looks like. This was good defense this weekend. It was really good. And I've watched A&M teams over the last handful of seasons kind of progressively, in my opinion, get worse on defense. And that was encouraging for me to see. Because Slosh and his staff are also going to be able to adjust, and some young guys are going to get better and better. It's kind of like football. When you knew 2 years ago that A-Chain was going to see his carries increase as the season went on, you knew that O-line with Foster and Fothery was going to get better because they were two true freshmen starting up front. You knew a couple years ago that Antonio Johnson was going to force his way onto the field. You're going to see some of that, too, to improve this team you saw this weekend, probably most notably in terms of the pitching rotation, and that's something that will take a few weeks for them to figure out. But I was very encouraged by this weekend. And I mean, again, it's Fordham, and I really expect us to look up at the end of this non-conference season and see a pretty stellar record. And then the proof's going to be in the pudding when you wade into SEC play. Everybody knows that.
Just like basketball we saw, but
Yeah.
different. There's a different feeling around this one. There were so many question marks, and there's question marks here. But coming off the season that basketball had last year and this year, like, that was a big jump. I don't think the jump is as big for the baseball team from what I've seen and the kind of talent they accumulated. You mentioned defense.
I like the team. I've said it before. I'll say it, if they reach the postseason and reach a regional, it'll be a really impressive job by coaches and players alike.
A game that they absolutely should win. But should they?
Yes. This is a game.
They were hitting threes back then. They don't hit threes anymore.
Yeah, but they were up by 18.
But they were hitting threes. They don't hit threes anymore.
But then when they weren't hitting threes, they still won.
But they hit a big three.
They did. Marcus Williams did hit a big three with, 0.8 to go? 0.3?
The biggest, right?
Whatever it was. I just, for some reason, I feel as if A&M shows up and plays as hard as they've been playing, they will win this game. Whether they make shots or not, obviously they have to make shots, but if A&M shows up and does what they are supposed to do, they will win this game. And you can't say that about any other team in the conference. And you probably shouldn't say that about Georgia just because of the way that A&M has played every single team close and they haven't been able to close out games, and it just the way that the track record that A&M has in the last 10 games. But
at home, and Georgia's bad.
Georgia's really bad. They're 6-21 on the year.
Yeah.
Like, That's different.
They've won one SEC game.
1-13 in conference is different than a Florida that it was, what were they, 5-5 or 6-6 or whatever it was, and a Missouri team that had already won 4 or 5 games. They're the same as A&M. A&M had won 4 or 5 games at that time. LSU had won 6 games going into it. A&M had won 5 games going into their game. So, when A&M has matched up against these teams that they lost close games to, they're very similar in record and style and everything. And so you could understand it going either way if A&M doesn't play well. Georgia is not a good team. But with that being said, A&M, they've played everybody close. And if they allow Georgia to stay in the game, anything can happen.
This will be the last time we do tow, Gilliam Indoor Track Stadium.
Right,
so,
right.
What has been your favorite moment? You've been here for a very long time. You've won national championships in this. You've seen records broken. What is your favorite moment since you've been here?
Well, it's always a team moment. It's not an individual moment that I really reflect upon, and it's normally an NCAA championship that I reflect upon, and so when in what was it, 17, we won the championship here on the last straightaway of the 4x4, and we had tremendous performances up in front of that 4x4, but it all culminated at the end of that 4x4 with Curley coming off the turn and winning the race, and the reaction of the crowd was just outstanding.
Can you update our listeners to the changes that are coming?
Yeah, this will be the last competition in this building, and then we're going to build a new outdoor facility or new indoor facility close to our outdoor facility. So this building, the indoor football building, will all come down this summer.
Yeah, it's a lot of great changes.
Yeah, it'll change a lot of things.
Eric, you got another one?
Yeah, so 2 years ago you had a distance athlete score in every event. Last year we had 0.
Yeah.
We talk about how important it is to have everybody having a good day on the same day. Not everyone having the perfect day, but everyone having a good day on the same day.
Right.
So what events are you going to be looking at specifically that will help us, come home with the victory?
Well, there's a couple of events. On the men's side, I think the pole vault's an important event because I think we have some good vaulters that are within the SEC. The SEC may not be the best vault conference in the country right now, but we have a group of vaulters that are doing well within that group. Our high jump group has done very well. We've got 3 guys over 7'1.5". So how those guys do are important on the men's side. On the women's side, the women's high jump, Lamar Diston having a great meet. We depend on those kind of things. Our quarter milers doing what they're capable of doing. We end up being in the slow heat in both the 4x4s, and it's comes in by times that you've run during the season, like we were just talking about. You get a great time when you're running against somebody that's really good. We've won our mile relays every meet of the season, but we haven't really had a great competition, so it doesn't put us in the top 4 times. So we're going to have to run fast out of the slow heat, and I think we have the ability to do it, but we'll see if we do.
So I'm really liking Bronny's series of the rise to number 1, and today it's number 5.
Some of his better work, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm not making that as a joke. It's really good.
It's really.
He called me, and a lot of times we'll talk through those, he'll have the idea, him or Jason, and then we'll talk through hey, here's what you need to put in there. And a lot of times it'll be, if there's 10 of them, maybe I'm putting 3 in there that they didn't think of, or whatever. Right. Oh yeah, we brainstorm together, and the list changes a lot. And I think he read them all, and it was perfect. That's good. I mean, and hit a couple that that I hadn't even thought. It was a good. I mean, it's a great idea for the article, great execution, and the only thing I said was don't half-ass it, because it was such a good idea. Spend some time on each of those each day, and he has. It's been fun. A lot of that stuff I don't read, and I just trust like trust everybody to do it
Do their job. Yeah.
until I'm told like, hey,
Check this out.
but that one is one of the ones like that I'm reading with interest because it's such a fun class to follow and it's such a historic class.
Yep.
And the story being told is great. Like I think it's a story worth being told. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Kind of like the whole process of why, to people outside that don't get it, why the class went the way it did. It's kind of like what Mike Elko said today to our boy Connor O'Gara.
Mhm.
Like, there was a lot of work that went into that. There was a goal, there was a target, and they went after it. And it's funny because I've been talking to people in Bright here in the last couple weeks, and you're starting to feel that same level of excitement about the 23 class. Like this is going to be a special group. This is going to be. It's interesting too because Houston is not nearly as loaded. Texas is not nearly as loaded. The state.
Mhm.
So can they duplicate that without being able to lean so heavily on that get hot start in Houston or to be able? It'll be interesting. I think they'd have a hard time climbing to number one again. But we're in a situation, David, if they finish in the top 5 again, like a legit top 5 class, I think this program will be, when they take the field in 23, will have as much talent as any team in college football.
All right, Billy, you can put your hat on with your man bun and tell the people what to do. Look at that. Why don't you tell the people what to do?
Hit the like button, subscribe,
Comment.
listen, watch, comment.
Become a
There's
premium
a lot
subscriber.
to comment on, and then become a premium subscriber because what we're about to do is Stacked is really exciting. It's exciting for the athletes across the street. It's exciting for you, the fans, to kind of feel like you're a part of that. But also, it's going to be a hell of a lot of new, cool comment. And it's not just going to be me sitting here interviewing football player A, football player B. It's going to be across all sports. It's going to be athletes interviewing athletes. It's going to be podcasts. It's going to be a lot of fun stuff that we've got planned. So, yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel, watch it, and subscribe to TexAgs as well.
That might be the best that you've ever done.
Thank you.
Anybody's ever. In fact, we're going to make that a clip and just use that as our homepage for now.
Problem is I have this going on.
Yeah,
It's going to be tough, but yeah.
Yeah, we got a problem with that. Thanks for watching.